I'm John Schrott, and this is On the Spot with IKM. This morning, we have a great conversation for you. I have Samara Wheaton with me this morning. She is one of the associates in the firm and leads our interior design department. But what I want to talk to Samara about this morning, because she is so good at this, is how to engage end users so that all voices are heard. And you've had to transform that from in-person to hybrid to completely remote. So how do you do this to get the most out of these end user meetings?
So I think it depends on what the mission, vision, and values are of that specific client, and then we kind of cater our design towards human-centered learning, and we create activities that bring together stakeholders in a room. We can do it in a room virtually. We can do it in a room hybrid. We've done that before. I prefer to do it all in person because you see people's emotions and you can shift and maneuver and cater some of those conversations, even as I'm using my hands, towards people's emotions, and you can sense on who has a very strong voice in a room and who is more reserved, and you can kind of entice them to kind of speak up. But with that, we ask specific questions. How do we retain talent? How do we build culture? And we bring these stakeholders together and we have conversations and we generate just great content and hear from different people throughout the process. And like I said, we hear from those strong people, and then we use our group. We have facilitators that we take from our workplace group, and we all kind of work towards bringing those quieter, reserved people to the forefront and make sure that they're heard. And it's also important to hear from executive level, C-suites, staff, managerial level, and just your regular staff, your admin staff, facilities, all kinds of different people and all kinds of different stakeholders to make sure all those voices are heard. It's also great because a lot of those people don't get together on a daily basis, so they can hear each other. So sometimes, executives are like, oh, that's great to hear, and sometimes, your staff is like, oh, that's an interesting perspective, and that stimulates a lot of great conversation.
So you mentioned a term early on in this, human-centered
Learning.
human-centered learning. Maybe you can explain a little bit more about that.
Yeah. Human-centered learning is really about the process of being in person. We do this virtually as well, but actually learning and creating discussion in person and talking about those experiences and transcribing and transposing and understanding how that gets interpreted into design. So the human-centered learning and human-centered design work almost in parallel paths as we move forward to hear those words and translate them into design, which is something I'm kind of passionate about.
So do you have an example of something that came completely out of the blue that you didn't anticipate in one of these meetings that really transformed the way the space was going to be designed?
Sure. We do a really great activity where it's called What Brings You Back to the Office, something that we all have to deal with on a daily basis. And a lot of people, the most common thing is socialization and, food, and we socialize around food, but something that was not on our radar was free parking. Free parking. And that was big and clear as this person walked up, and we saw multiple people after it walk up and place those sticky notes, and we saw leadership be like, oh, this was not on our radar. Free parking, free parking, free parking. It may not happen, it may happen, but it was definitely an experience that, we weren't expecting.
So in the sticky notes kind of gives a little anonymity to it as well, right? So the leadership, when they look at a board that just has these stickies on, they don't know exactly who put that there. So the person who might be more reserved feels free to be able to express their true thoughts.
Correct. And we do this a couple of different ways. So instead of having that person actually place the sticky note up there, we'll go around and collect them all and take them and put them up ourselves. So you don't know if that executive placed free parking because they may want free parking as well, or if somebody from, some of the other staff wants that. So to create the the anonymous voice is also important, but also stimulating those all voices are heard, and hearing those different perspectives from those different people is important.
This was great, Samara. Thanks for being on the spot.
Thanks for having me.
Until next time.